All right, we're taking a look at day 3 of season 2 now. We had Hurricane Ian come through over the weekend. We got the least of it, so we're happy with that. But the track was still wet and soggy, and so that was on her mind even before we got the session started. Now, on top of that, we were focused on a new technical cue, and this new technical cue caused us to take a step backwards, right? And that is okay. Now, she had an entire session of frustrations, but that's okay, because we rather have the frustrations now in October. This was October 1st, yesterday, right? Then have them, in March when we're getting ready for the national championships. We rather take a step back now in October rather than in March, once again, when we're getting ready for the most important track meets of the season. And so we're going to look here at the difference between today and last week. Now, the hurdles started off a little higher this week because the intention was to, regret on what we did last weekend. So round 1, the popovers were up to 33 inches. So 5th hurdle was 33, 4th hurdle was 30, then 27, 24, 21. Now, what I wanted to do was go the next round, raise them all to 33. And then same thing on the 3rd round. But instead, I had to backtrack because the form was not where we wanted it to be. All right, and so here we can see that the trail leg doesn't have that good drive off that it did last weekend. All right, so now that wasn't so bad. All right, but it's more of a fall off of the hurdle rather than powerful drive off the hurdle. All right, so here she is coming off of the hurdle, and the foot just lands more so than her actually, thumping that track. Now, if we take a look at last week, all right, we'll see that off the hurdle, the knee drives nice and high. It's a very noticeable drive down into the track, which propels her forward without her having to really try. All right, and so these good angles were not there for today's session on the grass that was wet and soggy and heavy. All right, and it's not even the wet surface and the rain that caused the change. It's actually the new technical cue that we're starting to work on. All right, and that cue is to open up the hands, because if you saw the review from last week, then you saw that I told her we need to open the hands and get relaxed with the hands. All right, and so you see that the hands are open here, right? Whereas last week and all of last season, she was running with the fist bump. All right, and so she was trying to keep the hands open, which is the new cue, and we don't have enough reps, right, ingraining the knee drive and the dorsiflexion and all the good positioning to keep it there. So if it backtracked, it took a step back, and that's completely okay. All right, and so we had a session of frustrations, and that's okay. You see the hands are open, but they're still flared out to the right and to the left, right? And we're going to work on that. And you see that the trail knee is no longer driving upwards, but rather just kind of like rushing to get back to the track, right? That's because she's no longer thinking of that cue that we were thinking about last weekend, and that's okay. All right, and that's why as soon as I saw that the first rep, hold up, that's not exactly what we want. we started backtracking. And then for the third round, we went down even lower. Paula's hurdle was 27 inches. And you know what? It still wasn't what we wanted because the new technical cue was taking her away from the one that we were working on last week. And that's fine because we're going to have to learn them both this off season. All right. And so good arm drive, hands are open. They're still flaring out. We're going to work on that. This is day one, running with the new hands there. All right. And so off the hurdle, trail knee stops driving. Now it's late. Now we're falling to it rather than powerfully driving off of it like last week. All right. So here's last week over about the same height hurdle, you know, a height that is like way lower than she even has to think about. All right. Hands balled up, but she's comfortable with that. She's ran like that all her life, that she can give all her attention to pulling this knee up. And so we get the knee up, right? And then off the next hurdle, which is taller, we still get the knee up. And then off of the next hurdle, which is 30 inches, we still get, because she didn't have the conscious effort of having to try and keep the hands open. All right. And so this is real life, right? And this is why you need the sessions. And this is why it's important to start in the fall, right? To start in the fall, the serious track athletes, the ones that know what they want, they go out there and win their event at the national championships and the state championships and break all these records, they start training in the fall, all right? Because you have to with these kinks and these errors now, because regardless of you decide to fix the technique, you're that backward. This session was bound to happen regardless, right? If we started in June to start addressing the arms, then in June we would have had this. And now guess what? Now you're messing up an entire season of winning and doing good. And now you want to make some changes right before the national championships. And oh, we're backtracking and now the confidence is lowering when it should be raising. All right. And these things matter. This is the real life of it. This is the real life of it. All right. Those that just talk and, oh, I coach that. All right. Guess what? At the end of the season, we're going to see the progress. The ones that put in the work are going to get the results. And the rest are going to have excuses and, oh, it's because of this and it's because of that. Guess what? Everyone has the same 24 hours. Everyone has what's going to interrupt the injuries that are going to interrupting family matters, school matters, work, life. All right. The ones that want it are going to continue showing up, putting in work. And this is what it is. Right. And this is why she's going to be successful. All right. So it was a session of frustrations, and she has to deal with that and accept that this is going to happen when we're trying to learn something new. All right, like trying to learn to write with your left hand. If you write with your right hand, it's going to be very frustrating, and then one day you're going to get it and you're going to forget that you ever had to learn it. All right, so this has been uploaded to the Her magazine. If you want to see the full reps, they are available there. Questions, comments, let me know. I will speak to you next session. Coach Cordell signing out. Run faster, make them chase you.